Harris gets lost on the back cut. 13 to shoot for Kansas. Lost to Arizona in the Big 12 quarterfinals last week. Dickinson capable from the outside and hits his first.
Surgery, they feared they might have lost him for the season, was in a splint for 6 weeks, but started working out about 2 weeks ago. Spoke
with Coit into the game. Dickinson draws the double, and that's what he does. Griffin still can't get it going, but Dickinson cleans it up. He's a great... Foul was on Ivisic, his second. Dickinson jumper. He's got such a nice...
Love to the basket. That is a tough finish right through contact. He is fearless. And that can be good and bad, but right now it's good.
Zeke Mayo. Hunter Dickinson in the wing.
I think if it wasn't for Richie Saunders, this kid might have been the most improved player in the Big 12. He has got a very bright future, the sophomore.
Saved by Arizona's Anthony Delorso, but run down by Zeke Mayo. And a fresh shot clock for the Jayhawks. Hunter Dickinson. Trading threes.
But Henry decided to come to college.
The rebound, Hunter Dickinson. Dickinson from deep. And the second three for Hunter Dickinson.
Standing, and that brings Vasar off the bench a little bit later.
Look, a surprising number for the first half. As you saw the game summary, the three-point shooting for Arizona, 7 for 11 from outside the arc. A team that shoots under 32% from 3 on the season. Kansas goes inside and one.
Del Orso all season. One of the things he does so well is cut behind the defense. And Bradley found him. It's great basketball when you can put the pressure on the defense like that. There's the high low again. Maybe by design went right after him. Go at him again.
Hunter Dickinson in the lane. Stays at Kansas ball, 17 on the shot clock with the Wildcats clinging to a 3-point lead. Hunter Dickinson attacks the baseline.
Shots, and he's got a good feel for finding the open man. He's so strong, it's hard to keep him out of the paint off the dribble.
Dickinson down low using the window.
That's what he can do. I mean, he does not need any space to elevate up and knock down the shot. The transfer from UNLV and George Mason before he got to UCF.
Hunter Dickinson. In his
scoring the way that he's scoring, but I was about to go back to a point that you said. The length of charm, I think, is really bothering Hunter Dickinson.
Gets the roll this time. Zeke Mayo. Hunter Dickinson hustling for the offensive rebound. And down the stretch. In the lane, it rattles out for Niels Mahotsky, and Kansas the rebound.
I'm sure you're like 5 and 6. Where was that when I was in the league?
Where was this Kansas team when I was playing?
Hunter Dickinson. Niels Mahotsky makes both free throws. Trims the Kansas lead to 5.
And that's the adjustment that we see. The 2-3 zone, they go into it. We saw it work last night against Utah, and that's what got them the lead, but they out of the 2-3 zone. They're quick to match up out of it.
Hunter Dickinson. Second.
Interesting matchup and decision right there by Johnny Dawkins.
Team foul number 6 on the Knights. Hunter Dickinson inside to the slam, and we're tied. Clinging to a 1-point lead. Off the inbound.
Beautiful.
Set the tone and be that initiator.
But if you're a coach in practice, and every coach will tell you this, you practice situations with him on the bench. You have to.
Hunter Dickinson.
That's a foul.
Store on the baseline. And Hunter Dickinson.
much contact. Tommy Lloyd making his case.
Here's Dickinson, turn around, flips it up and in.
He's 7 inches above that.
Wow. Chris, by the way, when I talked to his dad in Houston last week, he assured me that the jumping ability came from mom, Yvonne, who we all know passed away a little over a year ago. And kind of sad not to see Yvonne out there today. But KJ's using that as motivation. He gives you a lot of effort, but KJ Lewis just shot right over him.
Dickinson able to answer.
Back at 22, he's here tonight.
And the guy inbounding the ball, DeJuan Harris Jr., CB, as you called him, had a ton to do with DeJuan Harris being in a Kansas uniform.
No question. He was the point guard on that championship team as well.
Shot clock under 10. Mayo swings it. Harris. Feed inside. Dickinson. Jumper. Got it. By 3. Harris probing. Gets a piece of the paint. Dickinson cleans it up and puts kind of running jump hook that he likes to take. Back the other end. Bradley couldn't hit. Dickinson the rebound. Here come the Jayhawks up 4. Adams picks up the loose ball.
Walker's battling. I see a foul coming. Right? Yeah, I didn't say it that way.
Well,
you did.
Loose ball. Griffin has it. Kansas on the move. Mayo. Feed inside. Point blank look.
Private. He does so many other things well for this team. Tried to go lob again. First play of the game. Didn't get it.
Harris to Dickinson. Just beyond the elbow. Knocks it down.
Long commute.
Adams with the feed, and then Dickinson the rebound. Dickinson puts it home.
I don't think I can do this. In that moment, Bill Self called him up, and he was like, I promise you, just work on this. We will turn you into something. He was able to pass those courses. He had to go to Kansas, couldn't play right away. Still had to do some work on the academic side because he couldn't practice with the team. He practiced with the rec league, and in the second semester was able to rejoin the team. Christian Brown, as we saw.
Michigan State early. Their troubles have been chronicled throughout the Big 12, but still very, very dangerous.
Jay Storr collects. Dickinson jumper. Got it. Oh, is he feeling?
And been a big lift for the Wildcats.
Storr will try. That might have been deflected. Dickinson gathers it in, puts it home.
Going to put him on the ball regardless of who inbounds it.
Mayo, or Griffin, I should say, gets it to Adams. Mayo feeds the post. Dickinson off the glass and good. 2 more. Lewis going to work. Lewis off balance. Mayo rebounds.
Probably not a high percentage shot right there with Lewis fading away.
Dickinson turns and hits. Harris finds Dickinson. And that rolls home.
Play through Dickinson tonight. And you can bet that they're ready for the traps inside. The monster that Houston calls it.
Dickinson at the basket off the glass and in. We'll check in. So that bears watching. Just almost 3 minutes into the game, and Uzan with a couple of fouls. So their point guard will sit. We'll see for how long. Feed inside Dickinson. Score it. Dickinson inside. Shot wouldn't fall. Gets his own miss and put here.
Good fake.
Point will try. Can't hit that time. Dickinson. Good rebound. Dickinson inside and puts it home. Point on Uzan.
Oh, boy.
And they turn him over.
And you got to get a great shot here.
Inside, great look, and the seal. Roberts couldn't hit. Dickinson the rebound. Coit leading Kansas. Hunter Dickinson, his 61st career double-double. Going to work on Tugler.
Nice.
Oh, look at that shot. 38% three-point shooter, Walton. Transfer from North Carolina. Hunter Dickinson against JT Toppin. And he gets the roll and can't.
Roxy, I just need to digest that one for a second.
Hunter Dickinson, the offensive rebound and the putback for the.
Great help side defense that time by Toppin to cut him off.
All the way, corner three, missed by Zeke Mail, but kept alive by the Jayhawks. And Hunter Dickinson.
And if you're looking for scorers right now on the floor, Chance McMillan's one of those guys that can heat up in a hurry. They haven't given him a lot of opportunities to turn that corner and get downhill or get a clean look from three.
Hunter Dickinson on the block, using that left hand.
Griffin in that position than it is KJ Adams.
And Griffin hangs, looking for contact. The hustle by KJ Adams keeps it alive for the Jayhawks.
You attack this, he's got 4 fouls.
Hunter Dickinson over the right shoulder with the left hand. 3 for Texas Tech.
How about the freshman, huh? Late in the shot clock, Williams did an excellent job driving the defense to him and then kicking out for the uncontested 3.
Hunter Dickinson down low. The drop step and the lay-in.
Game off will determine how they play in this game in the first 4 minutes.
So keep an eye on that. 4 minutes in. What Kansas shows up here today. They start with it as Hunter Dickinson won the tap. They're in the white, and away we go. And here is the 2-time All-American Dickinson going to work over the floor from the floor. Hammond off the bounce, the senior point guard with a runner that rolled off, and Dickinson clears it for Kansas.
I don't think Hammond needs to stop for that mid-range. I mean, he can attack the rim. Dak is drawing Hunter Dickinson more on the perimeter. Drive it all the way to the rack.
Adams got a switch from Dak, gave it up for Harris, who initiates for Kansas. Here's Dickinson. Got it out at the elbow extended. Got it back from Mayo, and Dickinson is good on the jumper.
5 starters last year. You talk about 3 NBA draft picks, 2 that went in the first round and 1 went in the highest in the second round. That's obviously going to be difficult for any team to bounce back from.
He's been searching for rotation, searching for answers. He will go deep into his bench and ride with the hot hands. Mayo ripped around the pass, and Dickinson gets the roll. And whoop, sophomore from Senegal gave it up. And then Dickinson with a good ball screen defense, picked it and lays it in, plus a foul.
Colorado. You always play fast, but you never play in a hurry.
Back down to 6. Harris for Dickinson, and he rattles another one home.
Or what's on the front of the jersey instead of the back. So I can hear all the excuses about the lack of athletic ability by some of the guards for Kansas. That's about intentionality, and that's about a sense of urgency on the defensive end.
Gets it to go off the glass. Pat Boyle told us he's been our most consistent offensive player this year. He was quiet in the first half, and Julian Hammond's coming to life for Colorado. Griffin attacking. Dickinson gets it to go on the baseline. I like it. We went from Askia Booker to some back and forth. Dicky Coit ripped it away off the inbounds. And now patience with it from DeJuan Harris. He'll back it out for Coit. A 1-point game in the return for Kansas here to the CU Event Center in Boulder. Dickinson with his 60th career double-double and counting. Adams flash, high-low. Dickinson through the contact. First 3 of the half for the Buffaloes. Dickinson wanted it. He's jockeying with Jobe. Tries the other block. Gets it from Coit. Dickinson scores over the top. On his head. Dickinson off the pick and roll, swirls one home with down situations down the stretch.
Well, winning teams have winning habits. Even though Colorado has won the last 2 out of 3 games, how they execute down the stretch, being sharp with the ball and getting stops is going to be imperative.
So it's a 5-point lead, 1:20 to go. Kansas with the basketball. Harris spins around the screen. Dickinson gets it to go.
You actually don't need to foul considering he made both free throws.
Kansas gets it into the corner and they break the pressure to DeJuan Harris. Lob. Dickinson!
Its first lead in 2+ games. Their 2 games that they lost. Utah last weekend at BYU, wire to wire. They never led in either game. As let's mention in our conversation with him earlier this morning, when we've been engaged, locked in with our defense, we've been a different team. Dickinson, sweet stroke. Boy, Mayo trying to tear the roof off this place. Look at Adams, slick pass from the Adams coming home and getting right so far with his Jayhawks. Dickinson giving Arturo Dean a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, they have everything going. Both ends of the floor right now. This is why Kansas is difficult to beat in this building.
For the Cowboys are on the road.
Here we go.
Thompson knifes inside, misses at the cup. The tap by Avery, no. And Dickinson the loose change.
How about that outlet pass, too? It's the curl outlet pass to get it going.
Just playing with all
back door.
Please.
Look at the ball hop, Spiro.
Oh, Dickinson, it is an offense.
Especially at the offensive side. Uh-oh, the big guy.
Dickinson unleashed. About game-to-game swings. You wonder where some of this was for Kansas on Tuesday night, but you know, it's such a long season. Sometimes you need a night like that to jumpstart your season.
Well, keep in mind, BYU had this type of game against Kansas, just like Kansas is playing against Oklahoma State.
Dickinson, they are
playing against this competition in this conference. He said he's enjoyed every single second of it this season.
About a month and a half ago, inserted into the starting lineup by Kevin Young for BYU as Hunter Dickinson breaks the seal.
Is elevating everybody, then I got to give him a chance.
Off a screen, pulling up for 3. David Coit short, and the offensive rebound, and Hunter Dickinson up for the Jayhawks. So Kansas has lost 3 consecutive road games, all to unranked teams. Hunter Dickinson launching a 3, and that's a good start to the second half.
At halftime, and their focus.
Miss from KJ Adams. Hunter Dickinson ends a 10-0 BYU run. Performance on a huge stage, having Kansas here in Provo for the first time since 1960.
This program had a lot of success last year. Surprising success in the Big 12 with Mark Pope. Make the transition to Kevin Young this year.
But if you're Kansas, you got to be able to score some points in the paint. Only 2 points in the paint so far, and we're 7 minutes in.
Dickinson from Harris.
Off the offensive rebound, he was reaching for a sub. Then the made 3 where nobody was contesting with the best shooter out on the floor, and he was like, we got to call a timeout here.
Nice
Great
pass. Dickinson finishes it off.
That team kind of takes that on, and I said, okay, well, fine. What have you been preaching to your team? Said, we need to get better at the defensive glass. They've done a good job rebounding the ball. They are out-rebounding Kansas here tonight.
Dickinson lays it in. And barring a disaster, they're going to get it. Down to 30 seconds to go. Dickinson shoots the 3. Good. All right, not over yet.
From the sophomore Bangot Tat. Kansas wearing special uniforms today, a celebration of Black History Month. And the Jayhawks get it into KJ Adams. On the floor with DeJuan Harris. transfers Mayo, Griffin, and Dickinson, and the big man has the first.
Madison Booker, young lady from Jackson, Mississippi, is just an incredible player, only a sophomore. And so the streak ends. Kind of feeling Dawn Staley will start another one.
I think so. I think we're also set up for another absolutely loaded tournament. UCLA, Notre Dame, South Carolina try to defend its title. Big to big again, boy. They just love
Ellis, who was here with Wilt Chamberlain and Danny Manning. But they've got that big-to-big passing going this year.
4 dunks in the first half. Kansas shooting at 57%. Moore drives it, flips it for Dickinson, and a soft foul at the end.
Nice.
Hammond finally on the board.
Yeah, really good possession right there. The best of the first half by the Bucks. Great ball movement. I think everybody might have touched that ball.
Snapped a drought of about 7 minutes without a field goal. Colorado's not a bad shooting team. As you mentioned, they turn it over a lot, but they have just been missing shots this half. Dickinson all alone.
That's money.
Facilitator.
I got to shoot that.
Harris will. Missed it. Dickinson barely had to jump. He scores and is fouled again. They go 1 for 11 in the first half, Colorado, and then Yakimovsky hits the first 3 of the second. His first points. Colorado's second leading scorer of the year, 9-7 a game. He and Hammond, their leading scorers combined for 2.5. Dickinson just curls it over. Who cannot miss?
Well, give the Bucks credit because they're playing with a lot of poise.
Harris on the roll into the paint, cut off by Hammond. Dickinson shoves it in right through. A 12-game losing streak this season. Get its first Big 12 win. Trying to win for the first time in Allen Fieldhouse in 42 years, but they got work to do, and that's not going to help them. Dickinson over the
attacking them early, but Kansas in 2 possessions have come up empty on those drives.
Harris triggers the inbounds. Seven on the shot clock for the Jayhawks. Here's Dickinson, left-hand jump shot.
Dickinson not getting an assist on that play, but the catalyst, wow.
Deep 3 by Doug, off the mark. 2 DMV guys scoring the last couple of buckets. And Dickinson, speaking of.
Big minutes for Shaquille Moore, who only played 2 minutes in the Iowa State game on Monday night. With Harris saddled with 2 fouls. They're going to need some playmaking from him. That's a basket.
Too easy for Hunter Dickinson.
UIC, East St. Louis kid.
Dickinson, the extra pass. Griffin, back to Dickinson for 2.
I'm home, dude. I can make these.
The rebound and the putback by Dickinson.
That's the story of Kansas's day. Great defense. They almost get a steal, and Kansas State turns it into a basket. A 3.
5 different Wildcats have hit from beyond the arc. There's Hunter, their 5th straight win. Gasson can't get it to go. Dickinson clears.
Kansas has to play fast now. You talk about a comeback game. If you're open, you have to shoot it.
Dickinson does and hits a 3.
You got to be really accurate right now and know what you're doing offensively.
Dickinson found an opening.
Sean Gilbert looking for some space. Shot clock winding down. Got hoisted up. And that shot short. Mayo rebounds. Here comes Kansas.
Bill Self told us that he's got to play through Hunter Dickinson inside.
Good deep post position. Leads Kansas with 50 3-pointers on the season. Mayo, good look inside, and Dickinson tipped out by Adams. Mayo knocked away. Dickinson the rebound and puts it up. Jackson, shot clock winding down. Jackson got to put it up. Contested, in and out. Dickinson a rebound.
Contested by Dickinson. He didn't get a blocked shot, John, but this is who he is.
Iowa State, the Cyclones 2 for their last 19.
And they should be down 20.
Inside, Dickinson, and 1.
Takes the win on the road.
Mayo inside, a little bit strong. Dickinson! The state run. Storr will try. Dickinson, offensive rebound and the putback. That injury to his non-shooting hand, they're hoping to have him back, and he stretches the defense. The ability to knock down the three-pointer. Mayo with Jones, Dickinson, two more.
O'Meara and Dickinson. All right, KJ Adams is back, but he's coming off the bench, so Flory Bidunga getting another start.
Who is playing absolutely great. This might work out for Kansas in the long run, with KJ maybe providing a spark as the sixth man.
Dickinson knocks it down, and Kansas.
And the outside shooting improved, and right there you see a little bit of the toughness inside.
Kid from the Bahamas is mentioned. And Buddy Hield, one of those that paved the way for him. Here's Harris. Almost the steal from right. Shot clock is under 10. Harris into the paint. Extended from the elbow. It's Hunter Dickinson, and he knocks it. Oh, baby. B.J. Edgecombe exploding to the basket, a two-handed stuff. And then Dickinson back the other end as DeWan and lays it in. So a steal and a bucket, and Baylor back out in front.
Kansas sloppy. I mentioned two-man games. They do that quite a bit. A guard and a big. Last couple times you'll see it right here. Dickinson, Harris. You see Baylor backing off of Harris.
Dickinson able to knock it down, and he has now compared to the beginning of the year. He said it's just time, reps, growth. He said this time of year, freshmen aren't always freshmen, and that's the case for both he and Rob Wright. You could say the same for Bidunga. There's Dickinson, gathers into tip, puts it.
And you don't want to let a team back in, and they have.
How about Hunter Dickinson? You talk about stick.
Good teamwork right there in that pick and roll.
Mayo, he's been quiet, hasn't scored. Adams a rebound. Toss inside, great feed, great post position. Their trainer, Dave Snyder, lob inside.
Nice pass.
Great look, and the seal off, and Dickinson.
Hunter and Chomp spins, helped by Hall, but there's Dickinson to readjust. Made in the first half this season. Deep three, missed by Coleman. Our first tie of the game at 30 with under 8 minutes to play in the first half. Mayo on the run, blind pass, Dickinson finishes it. Adams on Darius Johnson, shot clock's at 7. Ivy Curry pull up, tough shot, hit the side of the backboard, and loose where Storr grabs it for Kansas. Inside of 3 minutes to go, first half in Lawrence, and swatted by Ivy Curry, but there's Dickinson, skips it into the corner. Griffin, it's well defended, Bidunga on Hall. Dumps it underneath. Hunter tries to reverse, does so, and scores with the left hand. Quickly, 10 points now for Jordan Ivy Curry, who just picked up his second foul. This is his last time down the floor. Mayo almost lost his dribble. Coit. Dickinson, a spin, another adjustment, and this time gets it up. Knocking both down. Lead is up to 8.
Consistent with the mindset offensively. They're now going to more of a diamond press, attacking an aggressive double team. That's the first time we've seen that tonight.
Hand off Griffin. Turns the corner, goes underneath. Adams, Dickinson all alone.
The bailout right there, and he was just a little bit too aggressive. Got off balance.
Coming up on the 5-minute mark. Griffin somehow threading that pass over Bidunga.
and drops it home. He has 15.
Kansas can't settle. They have to continue to get to the paint. They're having a ton of success when they do get it inside.
Dickinson gives it back to Zeke Mayo. He gives it back to Dickinson, who drops that in. And he gives
as a freshman.
Harris into the front court, looking, finds Hunter Dickinson, who flips it up and in.
And he's not going to keep trying to take over. He is the team leader. He is the culture warrior.
Dickinson, good feed to Bidunga. Back to Dickinson. And one. Shot clock winding down. Mayo got to get something up. Mayo steps through and hoists. Dickinson pulls down the rebound and puts it back in. Went to the locker room, back on the bench. Got that foot injury, caused him to miss the last game, and it caused him to come out of the game in the early going here. Feed, Dickinson, got it. Nice look in the early going.
Kansas really prepared for this pressure defense. Some good execution so far.
Dickinson to the goal. Score it. Kansas and Houston square off. Jawan Roberts off the mark with that shot. Store. Dickinson inside. Puts it. The look on his face says it all.
Well, we know Bill Self. If they keep this up, he'll take all 5 timeouts in the first half.
Harris trying to turn the corner. Dickinson flips it up, puts it home for Hunter Dickinson. His first. Three from Manning wouldn't fall. Kansas the other way. This is Mayo. Dickinson inside, flips it up and in.
Bad shot. That was a remarkably bad shot.
Yeah.
That you expect as a defense to hit the rim.
Harris inside.
Nice.
Good feed. Oh!
Yeah, but DeJuan Harris has to do a better job of fighting over those screens because Ouellette is getting loose.
Feed inside, Bidunga. Nice job as he just shoveled. Kick up ahead. Here's Shaquille Moore. He missed it. And the throw down, Dickinson.
Might have got
base and knocked down the shot.
That was great defense by Shaq Moore. This kid, Ouellette, is a natural scorer.
Store finds Dickinson inside. He puts it in, scoring by 11.
Got to use a little clock here. Be judicious, move it.
Uday pops out, Dickinson.
You gonna shoot it again, Shaquille?
Dickinson puts it home. Hunter Dickinson.
No holding him.
Not at all.
He had a streak of games you were talking about in December where he averaged 26 a game over a 3-game span. So he can start to light it up, and he already has here early.
And State, Brown, and North Carolina State, Brown, and West Virginia.
Feeds it inside. Hunter Dickinson trying to back in.
I love it.
Oh, nice drop step.
He has developed. You got 3 guards, and you got the 2 bigs playing together, which he'll mix it up.
Well, with KJ Adams out, we might see more and more of that, I guess.
I would go inside against this lineup.
Dickinson wheels, left hand on the baseline. Another one.
Nice cross.
Whoa. And the feed inside. Dickinson, second try, got it.
He took away
at one point.
It's a great job by Castillo, though.
That runner short. Loose ball, picked up by Kansas.
Use him. Nice pass.
Dickinson from the free throw line.
How about that?
Here's DeJuan Harris. So calm and cool. A 4-year starter at the point.
And what a screen Dickinson sets.
He's a big presence. Look at that bounce.
Baseline with the hook.
There it comes. Got it. Harris waits for everybody to get set.
That's what they do. They empty
everybody from the backside trying to get Dickinson the ball.
Mayo got a pick, tried to get it back to Dickinson and did, and it's off the window and in.
Well, when he touches,
Hassan got a look, a hurried look from three, no good.
They close out on him beautifully.
Mayo, lob underneath, Dickinson, tough catch, got it.
In traffic, too.
At 6'9", the kick back to Jones for three. Boy, they can't buy one from three-point land.
Good checkouts here.
That's what happened to him earlier this week in their loss to Texas Tech. The three-pointers weren't going. Look at Hunter Dickinson with a finger roll.
He's having a ball.
Dribble and gets it off to Mayo.
Empty side balls.
Right back to Dickinson. And a runner. Got his own rebound. And put it back in.
He's having a ball out.
Griffin
nice
for Dickinson for the flush.
Unselfish. He could have finished.
To pass it to the other side of the floor.
It's going to hurt his field goal percentage.
Mayo hangs in the air.
Look who's there.
Dickinson with a cleanup.
The double-double machine.
1 minute to play. Mayo guarded by McDaniel.
Look at Dickinson running the show. Tells everybody.
Harris, 4 to shoot.
Look at that.
Dickinson blocked. That's goaltending.
You know, it was a good call.
Offensive player being guarded by DeJuan Harris Jr., an outstanding defensive player. And that pass just a little bit too close to Jackson. Didn't have time to really get his hands up and to make a play on it. Harris into the paint, off to Dickinson, who lays it in. Well, that's now he gets a touch. Off to Jefferson. Just a little bit strong on the 10-footer.
Bodies are flying in this game.
Adams got knocked down. He's back into the play now with the offensive end. And out to Harris.
Drop coverage because they're not worried about DeJuan Harris shooting the ball from the perimeter.
Shot clock running down. Dickinson puts it up and hits.
Well, he's got buckets. He's like the Chris Paul of Iowa State. Grew up in this area.
Ooh, Gilbert just got wiped out on a screen by Dickinson. Dickinson with a bucket as well. Gilbert so.
And KU.
Coach has got his feet in the paint, the lob, and the dunk.
There is Zeke Mayo moving in his 100th career start, and Hunter Dickinson on the bench. Aziz Bandaogo, the kick out. Open three. And that one's off from Dan Skillings Jr. Here come the Jayhawks.
Bandaogo's been active at both ends.
Hunter Dickinson going to work down low. Turns to the baseline, and Dickinson.
A half-hook floater that he likes.
Jizzle James missing a three. There is Hunter Dickinson on the glass. Here comes KU. Dickinson on the drive, and Dickinson gets it to go. The Bearcats look to attack. Page in the lane. Had a good look and just could not cash in.
Oh, he was so open. He threw it to the back of the rim. Both teams really struggling to shoot the basketball.
Hunter Dickinson on the block. Well, Cincinnati defensively 7th in the country and lowest field goal percentage allowed.
Well, they're holding Kansas at 27% in this game, but Cincinnati just at 34%.
Harrington Page spinning on Hunter Dickinson, and it spins out for Page. KJ Adams runs the floor. Across for Hunter Dickinson, who banks it in. We'll put this one away. And the Jayhawks will make it 3 straight wins after dropping their conference opener to West Virginia. And it'll be an 0-4 start in league play for Cincinnati. And back to the drawing board for Wes Miller and the Bearcats. They'll be 0-4 in league play for the first time since 1983-84 when they were in the Metro Conference.
I think this is a different Kansas team with the health of Shaquille Moore.
And it's Arizona State. Quaintance the jumper at the free throw line wouldn't go. And a rebound for Dickinson. Kansas the other way. And a look at the Kansas starting lineups. DeJuan Harris, the engine that makes them go. Shaquille Moore is back in the lineup again. Mayo, Adams, and Dickinson rounding it out.
Like by Kansas going right into the post. Hunter Dickinson had his way against UCF.
Jihad, three-pointer off the mark. Arizona State, one of the areas they've improved from last year, is their three-point shooting. Feed inside, Dickinson flips it up and in.
Youngest player in college basketball. You talk about between him and Cooper Flagg. I mean, what specimens we have on the court.
He's a power forward, 17 years old. I mean, that's a soft touch. Speaking of soft touch.
Who else but Quaintance?
Freeman had it blocked. Moore saves it, and now Harris, Dickinson, the throwdown, and one. Harris, a little hesitation on the baseline. Shot clock under 10, Dickinson. The handoff and Griffin. Back to Dickinson off the glass and in
that road win against Texas Tech, but a miss there.
Well, that's great one-on-one defense. That's a matchup I'm going to be watching all night.
Shaquille Moore, number 0 in blue, making his first start since last season at Mississippi State. And there is a quick
out right there.
Oh, what a play back inside to Harris. He weaves around, now floats it. Too strong. Dickinson cleaning up for 3, rattles it in. And Darius Johnson with his first bucket of the game.
He's going to have a big night tonight. You let him get hot, him and Curry. They're like microwaves. They can heat up real quickly.
UCF has a few of those guys, not including Sellers, that can get you buckets in a hurry. There's old reliable out here in Orlando. John with 29 blocks in 12 games in his rookie campaign. That's the same pace through 12 as Taco Fall in his first year. Dickinson, that is exactly where he wants. Coit turns the corner. Tough lay-in. Dickinson with the putback. Goes to the line and gets both of them. 10-point lead now for the Jayhawks. Zeke Mayo will lob it inside. Dickinson, fantastic hands.
Last year, Wisconsin. But can you do the little things? Can you help influence winning in ways outside of putting the ball in the hole? Can you get those stops? Can you play on defense?
Got the offensive rebound after the Mayo miss. Here is Storr, transferred from Wisconsin. Dickinson, Harris cannot finish. Had a good look. Storr, rebound, charging hard. Dickinson can.
Debo Coleman once again shooting so well from behind the arc. I look for him to stay on the floor. They have to find a way to keep him on the floor for spacing purposes.
This is also a look Kansas fans have been hungering to see. Dickinson and Bidunga on the court at the same time. And one.
They have to put a point of emphasis on that if they want to get back in this ball game.
Moore making his first start as a Kansas Jayhawk. Regular starter previous few seasons at Mississippi State. Adams with the touch inside the Dickinson, too easy.
Area in which he's shown that he has that good touch around the rim where he can step out and shoot the tray, or he has a nice floater just like we saw Hunter Dickinson.
For UCF, like I mentioned, they had those back-to-back games of at least 10 three-pointers. Moore back to Dickinson, too easy for the big foul.
Called in the game, 2 against West Virginia, 1 against the Jayhawks. We had only 5 fouls called against them. Against Brown was the fewest fouls ever against the team at Allen Fieldhouse.
Bill Self's concern is his team cannot get to the free throw line enough to his satisfaction.
Dickinson hits his first shot. Griffin, a quick 3. Tip. Dickinson got it. To pick apart Kansas defensively in the half court.
It's that middle ball screen. The help man's coming over, and the baseline runner. That time Harris, easy basket. We've seen O'Connor get him on the baseline run, and then Harris.
Dickinson. Mayo for the tie. Dickinson. 1-point game.
Dime to Hunter Dickinson. Great look up ahead, and Bill Self loves that. One and done for Brown.
Dickinson gets the early post up. You got to throw it in there.
And that's just a mismatch.
Really trying to be aggressive on the perimeter.
Here's Arrow. Can't tie it up. Harris given the space. Goes inside. Dickinson. Second field goal of the game with the ball. 13 minutes gone by. Big-to-big passing. And it's blocked again by Dabo. His second of the game.
He is active, number 45 in the brown jersey.
The left-hander, Dickinson, he's going. Antonelli, Rich Hollenberg, wishing everybody a rock chalk Christmas here. A lot of youngsters in the crowd with classes out on the campus of Kansas University, and the Jayhawks looking to put a little coal in the stockings of the Brown Bears.
I would think it's an early Christmas present to bring your kid to the game, right?
No doubt.
Santa Claus came early.
There's Dickinson on Dabo. Left hand, got it. Nothing like the frozen tundra on a Monday night. Look at that follow by Dick. Bill Self saw the same thing we did. Sub set to check in on the whistle. Offensive rebound on the weak side for Dickinson. He goes back to that left hand and rallies it home.
Country rally, very difficult to get second looks. Cross court skip. That one is off. Long rebound. It falls in the hands of Zeke Mayo. Down low and a height advantage, basically against anybody he plays. Dickinson up and in off the window. That is tough fadeaway, short. Dickinson's second rebound, and that shot was put up by Dontrez Styles. Most of his points the last couple of games have come in the second halves of games. And NC State early got to be a little careful here against Kansas off 2 losses and playing with an edge. Dickinson knocks down a 3. Hunter Dickinson. Self Allen Fieldhouse. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, he's that good. Yeah, you threw it out there. That ball was thrown up and ended up being an air ball from O'Connell. Griffin, good pass, Dickinson, but the ball's not sticking. And a lot of tough twos, man. A lot of hard-guarded shots. That will not work in this building. Hunter Dickinson. Spins baseline, right hand. This is all Hunter. Backdoor move. Denied at the rim. Middlebrooks follow up Dickinson. Off of a dribble handoff or a handoff. Very difficult to get in front of. Styles got 3 fouls, and for Mayo, a career high now in Kansas, 24. He had 21 earlier this year. Store. Dickinson, big time height advantage, takes advantage of it. He went right up over. Guys sometimes will sprint and just wrap the ball screen and drive it downhill. Here's Dickinson, hands it off. They got a 2-man game going. There it is. Dickinson lays it up and in. Nice play. Versus Kentucky. There's a lot of gas now back in that with the hire of Pat Kelsey and Mark Pope. Yep. Mark Pope has lived it. I remember as an assistant coach, Ravi, I've told this story before. We got on the bus to go play Louisville. Our equipment manager, Bill Kitely, was sitting on row 1 with just tears coming down his face 2 hours before the game. I said, Mr. Bill, are you okay? He said, it's Louisville, son. 4 assists shy of a triple-double. In traffic, no good. Rebound in traffic, ripped by Griffin. Dickinson wants it again. He gets it, and the result is 2. Largest.
Dickinson got his hands on another. Bates downhill. Loose ball, and Kansas wins the floor burn game. Here come the Jayhawks the other way. 3-on-3.
Gotta move that ball.
Dickinson flush.
I thought Z passed it out. It would have been automatically a 3-second violation.
Tigers on a 6-0 run. Dickinson for 3. Whoa, that'll help.
Is the best start, I believe, ever for the SEC.
That'll help.
But you're seeing it in this game.
Without a bucket, yet impacting both sides of the floor. Dickinson on Mitchell. Took a victory lap. The team is used to big games because we played in them at Cleveland State. And the Kansas players said, buddy, we just played in the Final Four. Kansas was up to the challenge. They didn't have any issues. Missouri was the one that came to play today. Harris gives it up. Extra pass, and Dickinson's got his second triple of the game. Theo Barrett on the floor for the first time with a 5 and goal. Score couldn't follow his sole miss. Dickinson picks it up.
I think you still got to play through Hunter, but you got to shoot the open three.
On Harris downhill, out to Coit. Coit 10th in the country in threes last year. Dickinson mid-range. Harris too strong. Dickinson misses another, and he turns it into an and one.
I tell you what, the offense, the way it's working right now, the ball is not sticking. It's 0.5 seconds, make a decision, make a play.
All loose. Adams able to recover to Dickinson, and the baseline jumper good. Into the corner on the drive. Rims out, but the tip falls for Dickinson.
Jayhawks in the white and the game's first possession. Zeke Mayo. Hunter Dickinson for the stop on the game's first play.
Yeah, Duke played Seattle the other day, and now Kansas locking horns with Furman.
Juwan Harris making his 86th consecutive start for the Jayhawks today. Dickinson. Repost, spins, and scores off the glass. The help defense came late. Bronson elects to shoot a long three. Well, Furman 2 of 5 from beyond the arc already, and starts going down again. Kansas has got some problems.
Yeah, that's a great play, though, from Cooper Bowser to be able to catch it and not barrel into Zeke Mayo for a charge. He was under control and got it kicked out.
There is Hunter Dickinson.
Lets it come to him. It happened to flow his way for a lot of shots at the basket, and he took advantage of it.
Hunter Dickinson lays it in.
A.J. Storr gets the start, drives left. That was deflected, tipped up and in by Dickinson.
Possession of Duke's season that Cooper Flag has been doubled very often so far.
It's happening a lot so far. Dickinson can do it. Three-pointer. It's good. Kansas. James out high. Deflected. Dickinson. Good hands. And a push.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little too easy there for the left-handed.
There is nothing wrong with that stroke. He will get on fire at some point.
Idolized Larry Bird growing up. Watched video of him throughout his childhood. Same way that Clayton Kershaw watched Sandy Koufax. Cooper Flag watched videos of Larry Bird all the time. He shoots a little bit like him. Mayo, a nice little slip pass. Dickinson gets the friendly roll. Soft touch.
They got multiple guys that can score the ball, and you see trapping Newby right away in ball screen. Dickinson ahead of the pack for the flush. Attempts against USC Upstate.
With those two makes, Newby is now 30 out of 34 already this season. 30 out of 34, and they just started their 4th game.
But that's a big part of what this game's going to be, keeping UNCW off the free throw line. That's something Kansas has struggled with.
Kansas breaking the pressure. Dickinson recovers off his own 15 seconds. Can Kansas finish with some points? Harris over the top for Dickinson. Nice. Scores before the double team. Adams finding Dickinson. Hockey assist.
In particular, get to the free throw line to stop the clock to score. 14 points can get erased pretty quick.
In for Dickinson. McGriff went for the steal. Here's Noah Ross hanging. Coit will push the tempo. 4-on-3 if they hurry. Dickinson run in the middle. Count it. Pass at half is now +5.
There you go. Much better job cleaning things up and holding UNCW to 1 shot.
Griffin splits 2. Dickinson a slam. How about 15?
And angles and opportunities to get easy baskets is the Oakland Golden Bears have 6 points in the paint early here in this first half, initiated by him.
Dickinson, LaRua back in. Giving to Jones, who goes baseline. Harris with the strip and the steal. Dickinson racing down the floor, turns and a hit. Good range for Mayo. And in for Kansas with the ball, Shaquille Moore, his Jayhawk debut. Transfer from Mississippi State, grad student. This is Moore attacking, finding Dickinson. That's a good first play. At 6'6", he might have some issues with Hunter Dickinson's size at times, but in the Horizon League, Alan Mokeba is going to be a big-time player.
I mean, he's a problem tonight. But while you're working into that, you might as well get 16, 17 off the bench while you're waiting.
Oakland's 10th turnover. Kansas, by the way, just 4 turnovers tonight. Mayo almost let that one fly. Four Kansas newcomers this season and Hunter Dickinson in there. Storr finds Dickinson. That is a much tougher game going.
Kansas 2-0, including the big win over Carolina Friday night. Michigan State also 2-0, but they haven't been tested like they'll be tested tonight. They had wins over Monmouth and Niagara before this game here tonight. The Jayhawks with the opening possession, and no surprise, a touch for Hunter Dickinson, and Kansas leads. Whips it cross court, and Xavier Booker long on the 3. And back come the Jayhawks. Both teams want to play at a pretty fast pace, right?
Well, yeah, Kansas really needs to move the ball because this is not a pressure defensive team that North Carolina has. They're more
ball, a transfer from Omaha, first team All Summit League last year. This is the 15-footer. Griffin. Boy, Kansas bound and determined to get that ball into Dickinson for a touch. He goes to the right hand, Jay.
And Ryland Griffin just took it away.
Yeah, there are a lot of great athletes between these 4 teams, but if you stacked them all up beside each other, Cohen Carr might be number 1. Number 55 in green. Trying to stay with Zeke Mayo, former South Dakota State Jackrabbit, who is averaging 20 a game through the first 2 for Kansas. Give him an assist. As
Griffin about that, saying, hey, man, where's the help?
Cooper with 6 early points. Spartans by 2. Dickinson from the elbow to tie it. Spartans run it again, and Akins misses it.
Well, that's Michigan State basketball. Not the miss, but just getting it down the floor so quickly.
Dickinson up. Fears. How did he find Booker? Have you ever been at a game since the 3-point shot came in when neither team made a 3 in the first half?
No, I never have. You know, A.J. Storr has to do a better job there. If K.J. Adams comes as the tag guy to take that away, he's leaving a wide open shooter.
Dickinson over the top for the easy 2.
There it is.
It's on Dickinson. The face-up jumper won't go. Mayo into Dickinson. Very physical move, and it'll go for Hunter Dickinson, who's now got how much coaches value a good cutter. That is going to count for Dickinson.
Instead of Cohen Carr.
And it's tied again. Again, one-on-one, Dickinson and Kohler. Oh, and Carr called for the...
He can pass out of it, especially on that right block where he can use his left hand to hook pass cross court.
Harris into Dickinson, who lays it in against Monmouth, 10 against Niagara, just 2 tonight. Tipped up and in by Point. I will always be younger than you. A 3-point lead for the Tar Heels in the early going. Couple of changes for Carolina, including Ben Allen Lubin, the top freshman in this program. He's from Pittsboro, North Carolina. 6'6", 195, and a guy who's going to help them win on both sides of the ball.
A superior athlete and super strong. I mean, to go against KJ Adams and take that kind of a bump and to be able to make that play on a broken play, that's big time.
And a cousin of Hubert Davis. A little bit distant, but Hubert was putting the pieces together.
The talent that this young man has.
Jay, when's the last time you were doing a Carolina game and looked at a Heels lineup that was this small as these five right now?
It's been a long time.
Storr to Dickinson. Oh! 120's pretty loud because it is pretty loud in here right now. Underway here in the second half. And Kansas with the first possession, up by 15. Griffin. Adams takes a bump from Withers. Dickinson. Yes. Starters this year. Trimble almost picked the pocket of Dickinson, who follows up his miss. Very early in the game. Kansas's biggest lead, 20 on a couple of occasions back in the first half.
Well, North Carolina's defense in this second half has been outstanding.
Boy, very aggressive.
You got to think Kansas wants to run something to get Hunter Dickinson an angle. And there it is. They cleared out the side.
Over the top, lays it in. Kansas
shooting. Gill gets the friendly bounce on the elbow jumper, and the Bison move in front.
We talked earlier with Coach Blakey about, hey, who's going to be your third piece? You know, Harris and Dockery, or we know that you're typical go-to scorers, and you have some question marks around that, and it very well could be Gill this game.
Dickinson on the
late, getting up and down in the game, and so that's where it's first going to start for Hunter Dickinson.
Kansas all over the offensive glass. Dickinson the benefit
to get that shot off, as we saw there, and
Harris drawing Dickinson out, but can't hit. Over the top, Dickinson lays it in. Nice delivery.
Little side competition there. Who's got the biggest bench and squat there, as both those guys are possessing pretty significant frames there.
Harris off the Adams screen. Down the left alley, nothing there. Now Griffin shoots it back for Dickinson.
Hunter, the way to convert with those type of numbers.
Entry pass not handled by Ayodele Taiwo. Kansas runs again.
And a nice opportunity to convert there by the Bison, but just couldn't quite handle it.
Oh yeah, Hunter Dickinson.